guys, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. Today I'll be showing you my TBR for July. My July TBR is so ambitious and it's making me cringe, but there are so many books I want to read this month. The reason it's really ambitious is because this month is Camp NaNoWriMo, so I'll be dedicating a lot of time to writing, and I have a huge problem with balancing reading and writing so much, and I need to learn how to do it. So I really don't know how this month is going to go, and it's kind of stressing me out, and the fact that I have so many books on my TBR is pretty overwhelming. So there's a huge chance I won't get to all these books that I'm going to mention, but I'm really going to try. So let's just get into my pretty ambitious July TBR. So I'm going to talk about first this series that I'm hoping to continue reading in July because I have a lot of series that I need to catch up with. The first one is The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, which is the third book in the Mara Dyer series. I meant to get to this book last month, and in fact, I'm going to mention a ton of books that I put on my June TBR that I didn't get to because I didn't get to a single book mentioned in my June TBR, which is really bad. So those books are going to be rolled over to July, where I hopefully will be reading them. This is one of them. I read the last book in April, which was quite a while ago, so I just really need to finish this series. I have one more book and then that'll be it, so hopefully I'll get to this. Cross my fingers. Really need to finish this series. The next one is Opal, which is the third book in the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I feel like I just want to binge read this series because it's so good and it's so addicting that I've been really wanting to, but I don't have time to do that. But I'm going to at least try to get to the third book in July. I really am interested to see how this book goes because the last book left off on such a big cliffhanger that was like torturous. So I really want to pick up this book. And then I have The Edge of Always by J.A. Redmersky. This is the sequel to The Edge of Never, which I really enjoyed. This is a new adult series and I've been in a huge new adult mood, so I am really in the mood to pick this up. Really interested to see how the sequel turns out, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. And this next one is another one that I meant to get to in June, but I didn't end up getting to, so I'm gonna try to get to it in July. And actually I need to get to it in July because for a specific reason. That is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. So this is my book club pick for my book club that I just started on Goodreads. And if you want to join that, the link to that will be in the description box. I would love to have you on board. In the month of July, we will be reading The Wicked Deep, which I'm so excited for. I didn't get to it in June, so I'm glad I have a reason to get to it in July. And I'm just dying to get to this one. I actually read the first 2 chapters and it's really good so far. Really good. I definitely understand why so many people love it. So really looking forward to this one so much, and I actually have to get to it in July because it's my book club pick, which is great motivation to finally get it read. I didn't get to read The Savior's Champion last month by Jennifer Moreci. I actually read the first 3 chapters and that's all I got. So this is a book I am currently reading. And I definitely want to continue it because so far it is so good. I am so impressed by it. So I actually plan to get to this book during Tome Topple, which is happening in July, which is a readathon where you have to read books over 500 pages. And this book fits that qualification, so I'm going to continue reading it in July, and I'm so excited to get back into it. And I also didn't get to Jane Eyre last month, and I mentioned that I want to read this book because there are a few Jane Eyre retellings that I really want to read, but I want to read the original source material first. And this is another book that I'm putting on my Tome Topple TBR since a lot of editions of this book are over 500 pages. And I'm looking forward to getting to this book because I've been really wanting to read a classic. And this is definitely a book that is a huge popular classic that I just really need to read. And the rest of the books I'm going to mention are just random books that I picked to put on this TBR that I hope to get to. So the first one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This would be a reread. I want to reread this one because the Netflix movie is coming out in August. So usually what I like to do when a movie adaptation is coming out, and if it's a book that I've read before, I like to reread it just so that the book is fresh in my mind before I see the movie. And if I do end up getting to this book this month, this will be my third time rereading it. I really love this book, so I don't mind rereading it. But it's not a huge deal breaker if I don't get to it this month, since I do have time before the movie comes out in August to get to it, since the movie comes out August 17th. So I do have time in August to get to it, but if I end up having time in July, I'll try to get to this one. Another one that is being released as a movie in August that I hope to get to is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. And this is a book I haven't read before. I actually started this book in 2016. I read like the first few chapters and then I just didn't continue reading it, and I don't know why. But I was interested enough to continue reading it, and I actually have to start over because I forgot everything about it. But I'm really interested in this series, and the movie for it is coming out in August, and I still haven't read the book, and I want to read the book before I see the movie because that is my #1 rule. So I'm going to try to get to it in July, but if that doesn't happen, then you'll see this on my August TBR. This next one will be another reread, and I actually really need to reread this book because I forgot everything that happened in it, and it's the first book in a series that I need to continue on with. That is Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. So I picked this one because I joined a group on Facebook that is a book club, and the book pick for July is Shatter Me. And I thought it was great timing because I've been really meaning to reread this book so I can continue on with this series. And based on the fact that I forget everything that happened in this book, I just really need to read it. So I'm excited to get back into this book and find out why I loved it in the first place because I don't remember anything about it. And if I do end up getting to it this month, then I'll for sure continue on with the rest of the books in the series. That cat is going to knock over that computer. If he steps on that computer, no. Ow. You're such a bad cat. Oh, bad kitty. This next one is my Try a Chapter book pick for the month. And the theme for my Try a Chapter for July was fairies. So I chose a book that has to do with fairies that I'm really looking forward to reading. That is Wicked Lovely by Melissa Marr. Out of all the fairy books that I tried in that Try a Chapter, this one really stood out to me the most. So I'm really excited to read it. It's quite a backlist book that's been out for a long time, but I still want to read it because the first chapter was so interesting, and this is the first book in a series, so if I enjoy it, I'll definitely continue on with the series. This next one is the pick for the book Hangover Club, hosted by Chelsea Darling Reads and Pages and Pins on YouTube. I've joined their group read before, and I really enjoy their little club they have going on, so I want to read their pick for July, and that is The King of Bourbon Street by Thea de Sale. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I know nothing about this book. I've never heard of it before, but since it's the pick for that club, I just added it to my TBR. And if I have time, I will get to this one, but because I have so many books I am prioritizing already, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm really going to try because I really love this book club, so I really want to continue to participate. This next one is also one that is part of like a book club thing. I am like doing a lot of book clubs in July. I don't know what's up with that. This one is actually a read-along hosted by Allie from Hardback Hoarder on YouTube, and she is doing a Kirk DeFreak readathon. This is a series that I have actually never heard about it before, but it's actually pretty well known. I can't believe I've never heard about it, but I believe it's like a middle grade series about vampires. So I'm going to read the first book in the series at the designated time when everyone else plans to read it. And if I like the book, I will continue to participate in the read along. But this is a book that I'm kind of wary of because this book is totally out of my comfort zone. So we'll just see how it goes. I hope I enjoy the book enough to continue participating in the read along that goes on until October. So we'll just have to see how that one goes. And this last book that I'm putting on my TBR for July is Summer Days and Summer Nights, an anthology edited by Stephanie Perkins. I have had this book on my TBR for so long, but I've always saved it for summer, since this is a book you kind of have to read in summer because the stories in this all revolve around summertime. So I have a small window of when I can read this book. If I don't get to it in July, then definitely in August. But if I don't get to it this month, then it's like mandatory for me to read it in August, since that is the last month of summer and I cannot put this book off until future summers like I keep doing. I just need to read it already. So I'm gonna try to get to it this month, but if that doesn't happen, I will get to it in August for sure. So that was my TBR, but we're also gonna do the TBR jar. So in my May TBR, I mentioned that I had 2 separate jars for books that I put on my TBR when I first started my booktube channel, which is a lot, and the rest of the books I have on my TBR. And my plan was to pick a book from each of those jars each month, but because my TBR for this month is so overwhelming, I'm just going to stick to 1 book this month because I already have so many books on my TBR for this month. So I'm going to make an exception this month and just choose 1 book, and that'll be from all the rest of the books I have on my TBR that aren't from when I first started my booktube channel. So let's just pick one. I'm excited to see what I pick. There are so many pieces of paper in here, they just overflow. That's how many books are on my goddamn TBR. So I color coded these, and I for the life of me can't remember what each color means. I color coded them by what their genre is, but I can't remember because it's been so long since I drew out of this TBR jar, so darn it. Alright, well let's just see what it is. This one is orange, whatever that means. It is Half-Blood. Is that the book by Jennifer L. Armentrout? The first in that Covenant series? I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm excited. It's a book by my favorite author that I get to read this month. Yay. Yes. Okay, so that is awesome. So I'm really excited to read this book. It is the first in a 5-book series. So I hope I like it enough to continue on with this series, but it's by my favorite author, so I think I will. So yeah, that makes me really happy. So that does it for my July TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos. Also be sure to click that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you are notified when I post new videos. And if you want to hear more from me outside of YouTube, be sure to follow my social media. Those links will be in the description box below. And I'll be back really soon. Bye!